Hi everybody. I'm working on a whole lot of neck resets, mostly Martins this week, maybe 5 or 6 Martins, and then there was that Gibson LG2 that I showed you the other day. Anyway, this D28 is from the 70s, and the neck came out perfectly. You can see here, the joint's just great, not a problem anywhere. It's beautiful, clean lines. I got all of the glue scraped away so that it's ready to, go back in and be at the correct neck angle and everything. But before we remount the neck, we have to do a little bit of repair work here. This guitar was about to have what's called a cave-in, where the spruce that's underneath the fingerboard extension breaks forward and shoves into the sound hole area and caves in a little bit. We have a little crack here, and that's how I knew when I first saw this little crack right there that this was what was underneath the fingerboard extension. This big crack here, you can see it lifting up and down, and it's not glued to the head block or this brace. And some of the little pieces of spruce here are loose too, and those are going to need to be glued as well. So I have a syringe with some glue, and I can go right in here with the syringe and inject glue where the head block and this piece of spruce are supposed to go back together. And at that point, that can be clamped down. Excuse me one second. That'll be clamped back down in one moment. But I also want to get where that brace is, which I can do just like this. It's just loose a little bit for about a ½ inch. Inject that glue there, and I'm going to run just a little bit along this line, and we can actually push this back into place. And now I'm going to put a cork block on there with some wax paper, and we'll get a nice, see how that glue is squeezing out under pressure? So once that's re-glued, this will be safe to put the fingerboard back on. And I'll go in and I'll fill this in where there's little pieces of tiny missing areas from where that big crack was. I'll go in and fill that in. It'll be all level and ready to accept the neck again. So gluing the neck back on before this big crack is addressed would be catastrophic, because it would just cave in, which it was getting ready to do before. So there you have it. That's how you stop a cave-in from forming, and when you're in the middle of a neck reset, when you see that big crack. Okay, so now I'm going to glue that loose piece of spruce that was on the base side of the fingerboard to the head block and to that brace. I have the wax paper down, some cork, and this aluminum caul. Okay, I'm going to go inside with this adjustable clamp right up to where that brace is. I'm going to squeeze that down. You don't need to go too hard, just so you have a nice contact. I'm going to take one of these cam clamps, and I'm going to do the same thing, right? I don't like this clamp. Let me get a different one. That clamp wasn't feeling like it was opening correctly. Here we go. Now, just going to bring this cam up to the right amount of pressure, which doesn't take much. And that entire piece of spruce that was loose is now perfectly glued against the head block and against that brace. So we'll just let that sit until the glue is dry. And when I'm done, that surface will be ready for the neck heel, which is right there. And we'll remount the neck at that point. Again, to remount the neck before that big cave-in that was forming was repaired would just be silly, because it would just break forward under string pressure.